Been accepted to take part in the sleep experiment. This experiment is being conducted for research purposes. If you comply with the following requirements, all charges currently held against you will be dropped and you will be automatically released from your prison sentence. You must stay awake for the next 30 days. You must complete all physical activities. You must obey any orders given to you without delay. Strictly no physical contact between each other. Failure to cooperate will result in you returning to prison immediately. 30 days of food and supplies are included. We have given each of you a diary so that we can monitor your thoughts and feelings. We will be testing an experimental gas that will be administered to you to prevent you from falling asleep. It is now 4 minutes past midnight, May 16th, 1960.
Is this the property of Christopher Sampson?
Yes, I'm Christopher Sampson.
I'm Inspector David McAvoy. Do you mind if I come in for a chat? I tried to call, but there was no response.
Sorry about that. I was out of town recently.
Going somewhere?
No, just clearing out some old stuff. Shall we?
Christopher, I believe you used to work for the Porton Down Chemical Defense Establishment.
I did, yes. But that's a long time ago.
You are aware of the investigation?
No, I'm not aware of any investigation.
Really? It's been in the papers all week. I thought you, of all people, would have known. Top secret documents on the human experiments were leaked to the papers.
Really?
Christopher, you wouldn't mind coming down to the police station and answering a few questions, would you?
Hi, Christopher. Thanks for coming down. I'm sure you have better things to be doing today. My name is Inspector Robert Scott, and we want to ask you a few questions about one experiment in particular that you worked on.
The sleep experiment.
We're trying to understand why it went so horribly wrong.
We have the original recordings of the experiments. And what we're going to do is we're going to break it down into small sections. We're going to ask you a few questions, and we'd like you to answer them honestly. We'll start with day one.
Look at the state of this place.
It's not much, but it would do.
I thought we'd have things to do, you know? To keep us occupied. Are we meant to just read books for the next 30 days?
Just think yourself lucky you're in here, not in prison.
I suppose you're right.
And there are a lot of books. And a deck of cards. I mean, we're bound to be kept occupied.
Anybody hungry?
Yeah, I'm starving. Throw us a piece of bread there, will you?
Excuse me, you in the corner. Are you hungry?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Oh, go on, you must be starving. Have something.
Okay. Thanks.
You okay? What's your name?
It's Eric.
How does a guy like you end up in here? Like, how do you end up in prison? You don't seem like the type. Forget to bring a book back to the library in time or something.
No.
Murder? You? What? How? Who'd you kill? Come on, tell us.
He doesn't have to say if he doesn't want to.
Nah, he does.
No, he doesn't. It's none of your business.
No. I think it is. If I'm gonna spend the next 30 days with him in here, and he's murdered someone, I wanna know his intentions for killing them.
Why are you in here?
Robbery. And you?
I didn't pay my taxes.
Can you tell me why those particular men were chosen for the experiment?
Oh, well, it's been so long,
As a psychologist, your job is to psychoanalyze the subjects, is it not?
Yes. But as you know, our main priority was to ensure the experiment was completed. I simply recommended the men I felt had the best chance of doing that.
On what basis?
Their desire to leave prison. They all had very long sentences, and obviously, any man would do anything for his freedom.
Well, surely there were more factors when choosing someone besides the desire to leave. You know, something like the background, mental state, if they're a serial killer or not.
So, the girlfriend's pissed off at me. So I said to myself, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, jumped on a boat, headed over to England, and here I am.
Blimey, what did you do?
Anything. Anything I could get my hands on. Took any jobs that anywhere I could. Eventually, got a job in the docks in Liverpool.
Did your father beat you?
What?
Did your father beat you?
What are you talking about?
Did he?
Seriously, what type of a thing is that to say?
Look at the way you're holding yourself. Like, do you know what you look like to me? You're like a terrier. You're quick-tempered and you're rude. You're putting on this tough guy act, and this deep voice you're trying to talk in is really quite
Jesus,
amusing.
shut the fuck up, will you?
There's some pain inside that you're channeling into this anger. What is it?
My father never beat me, I never had it, Dad.
So that's what's wrong.
No.
But there is something.
You want to shut the fuck up, mate?
I just don't like seeing people ungrateful is all.
Ungrateful?
Yes, ungrateful.
Ungrateful, Dad. Grew up in a man, no Dad. Ungrateful that my ma had to work every single day of the week to put food on the table. Ungrateful that I couldn't afford to stay in school. Ungrateful that my life was a fucking mess. Yeah, I'm fucking ungrateful.
Growing up, my mother was paralyzed from the neck down. Seeing how helpless she was made me appreciate everything that I had. Didn't really have a home. One day I'd stay with my aunts, another my uncles. One day I asked her, Mummy, all my friends, mummies, meet them after school. And they all get hugs from their mummies. Can you hug me? She didn't say anything, but a tear rolled down her face. It was the first time I saw her cry. Since then, I've always appreciated everything that I have. If you have 2 working legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, 2 ears, you have nothing to whine about, so stop complaining.
Why would Luke look for sympathy from Sean?
I thought psychos can't feel sympathy.
No, they can't. But they can feel lonely. Psychopaths are extremely isolated. They find it very difficult to relate to anyone.
Out of curiosity, what are the traits of a psychopath?
Well, some of the traits would be dishonesty, lack of guilt, manipulativeness, reckless risk-taking. He or she will con and manipulate those around them using charisma and intimidation. And they can effectively mimic feelings that present as normal to society. For pleasure, they torture and murder animals and humans. It makes them feel something inside that empty soul of theirs.
So how do you know when you're speaking to one?
You don't?
We will begin the physical exercises now. We will do them in order of Sean, Luke, Eric, Edward, and Patrick. You have 60 seconds to perform as many push-ups as you can. Sean Keane, please step forward to begin the physical exercises. Please get into the ready position. The timer will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
I felt sorry for Eric the most. He was like a fish out of water. How did an innocent kid end up in a place like this? Well, I suppose I never thought I'd end up here either. I like Eric though. He's a nice guy. Sean, on the other hand, seems a bit obnoxious. Patrick is a good guy, and I can see me and him getting on over the next few days. I don't really know what to think of Luke. He's a bit odd. But it's still a bit too early to form an opinion on someone. The way I look at it, it's 30 days until I see my family again. This experiment is a blessing from God. and I'm not going to take it for granted. I know my little girl Isabel is up there watching me.
What was the purpose of creating this gas?
It was for the military, David. If a soldier doesn't need to sleep, they have a distinct advantage over the enemy.
So why were the diaries added?
Diaries? Could you elaborate?
When we read the proposal for the experiment, the proposal that got funding, there was no diaries. It was solely testing the physical side effects of sleep deprivation. So why were the diaries added?
Well, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. You see, Robert, the mind controls the body. And as a psychologist, I took the opportunity of further studying the human mind in a controlled environment.
And what attracted you to work there?
What do you mean?
What made you want to work in a place that treated people like human guinea pigs?
You could say that I was brainwashed into thinking that what I was doing was for the greater good of the British Empire. The things we did, as horrible as they were, brought about a lot of good to the world. It's just unfortunate about the bad.
Interesting. Because you're the one who designed the experiment.
Now that's not true. I only worked as a psychologist during my time at Portendown.
But not in this experiment. We know you were the one who designed the experiment and gave Roger Morgan the plans to conduct.
Along with Roger, all the other people who worked on that experiment said that you designed it.
Look, I was young, trying to impress my superiors, and I was afraid that we would not get funding due to my inexperience.
So why does an inexperienced psychologist design an experiment testing the physical side effects of sleep deprivation for the military and then deny it?
Christopher, I don't think you're telling us the truth.
Who's up for a game of cards?
Yeah, man.
Patrick?
Oh, no thanks. Not really into it. I'll just, observe.
Luke?
What's in it for me?
It's just a game of cards.
No. You got to spice it up a bit. You know, how about the winner gets to piss in a cup and all the losers have to take a sip from it?
No,
Fuck off.
How'll the game be intense?
But can't we
You're
just
sick
have an
of
ordinary
me.
game of cards? Anyway, why are you doing this?
You know yourself. I just want to get out. Bit sit on the later, you know?
No, I think there's something else.
I need to get back home.
Why?
Just because.
What, to see your family?
Sort of.
What, your mother, your girlfriend?
You know, I used to do a bit of drama when I was in school. I was a young lad. I always wanted to be an actor, like, and my mum came along. And I seen her after the play, and I says, "Why are you crying, ma?" She was crying, like. She just said to me she was so proud. One line I had. One line. I got a bit older. I started acting the shit, you know, hanging around with a few dodgy heads. Stopped coming home on time, started staying out for the weekend and stuff. My mum, when I come home, you know, she'd be waiting up for me. I'd be like, "Ma, what are you doing staying up?" She goes, "Sit and talk to me, Sean. I want to talk to you." And I'd just be like, "Fuck off, Ma. I'm going to bed. I can't be talking." "What are you doing waiting up?" She goes, "I can't get to sleep until you're home." Fucked off to England. Didn't tell her, I just disappeared. I didn't write home for her. I don't know how long. I knew she'd stop me. I knew she'd try to get me home. Anyway, I wrote home, and a while later, a good while later, I got a letter from the auntie saying, your mother's dead. The one fucking person in this world that loved me, that believed in me. She died without knowing where I was, what happened to me. I fucking broke her heart.
Is it a coincidence that all the men chosen suffered from significant trauma in their past?
I shouldn't be here. I'm innocent.
If you look at the lives of most criminals, you'll see they all experienced something traumatic. It did not matter what they had done in the past. We just wanted them to complete the experiment, and that's why they were chosen.
About 3 years ago, my daughter never came home one night after being out.
If you wish to understand, Robert, how we could do all of those horrible things, then you must realize that we were doing our job.
Your job was running unethical experiments on naive, vulnerable men.
Those men volunteered by choice. They would have rotted away in jail if we didn't give them a second chance to redeem themselves.
She was 14. She always came home. This night she didn't.
See, I'm not sure those men were fully aware of what they were signing themselves up for.
Christopher, you personally designed an experiment that resulted in the deaths of 9 people.
What are you writing? It's just you've been writing for some time now.
One of the tapes, tape number 24, was missing.
I just have a lot on my mind.
There are certain procedures and protocols that are put in place to protect the subjects. Not only did you break them, you completely ignored them.
What are you in here for, Eric?
They were either in for murder or attempted murder. Even a child could see that putting all those men in the same room for 30 days without sleep is a recipe for disaster.
Or are you still not gonna tell us?
Eric, strangle a man to death, for God's sake.
Eric wasn't some kind of cold-hearted killer. He had been bullied his whole life. Poor Eric. He ended up living a miserable life. Now, I'm not justifying that what he did was right. But the poor man was a ticking time bomb. Like us all. There's only so much one can take.
Stop breathing, please. Just not so loud, please. Just stop breathing loud.
Nobody's breathing loudly.
Yeah, no, I don't know why it's annoying me. Just please stop.
Do you want us to kill ourselves?
What? No.
You want us to stop breathing, right?
Can you stop eating too, please? loudly. Just. Sorry, just please stop.
Neat and breed if we want to, mate.
Just not loud. I know you can just not loud, please. Just stop. You stop. It's hurting my head. Stop coughing so loud. It's hurting my head.
He's fucking dying, mate.
Stop.
You okay? What's wrong with you? There's something up in here and help, no? Come on!
We are opening the door to the room.
Patrick, you okay?
Step away from the door.
What the fuck is going on? Get in here and help them!
Everyone stop what you're doing. The door will be opened. Stand up and stand at the opposite wall to the door.
Hey, what happened to you?
They said that my system reacted badly to the gas. Something to do with that. So, I've bad asthma.
Asthma?
Yeah, asthma.
What type of asthma?
I don't know. I just know that I have asthma.
You're not allergic to anything?
No.
There's 6 different types of asthma.
Right. Well, I've always just been told since I was a child that I have asthma.
You were away for a while.
I know.
What happened?
Doctors injected me with something. They ran a few tests on my body. I really don't know, to be honest.
Did they keep you awake?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
So, why are you here?
Sorry?
You said it yourself, the gas was reacting badly with your system, so why did they put you back in here?
Oh, they've said that they've lowered the amount of gas entering the room.
That doesn't make sense. You should have either had an asthma attack when you first entered, or should be having one right now.
How do you know so much?
I just do.
Maybe you should work for them.
So it was your decision ultimately to break protocol?
Myself and the others just tried to get the best possible result.
You were the one who designed it, correct? So therefore you are the one at fault.
Everyone that worked on all the experiments was at fault.
No. You're the one who designed the experiment. You're the one who added the diaries without any permission. You're the one who chose unstable murderers without any permission!
I know that! But everything I did was with good intentions, I promise you. I just wanted to get the best results possible and make sure the experiment was a success.
Because of your good intentions, 9 people
Robert,
died.
of course I know that! And how do you think that makes me feel? You think I wanted this to happen? You think I wanted those men to die? I was just doing my fucking job!
You realise what you did as a criminal offence? You're going to go to prison for a long time.
Get your fucking hands off of me! I left Bolton down 15 years ago because I could not live with myself after what had happened. And now I'm facing jail time, even though I've been minding my own business, doing my own fucking thing for the last 15 years. Tell me, Robert, why is this case so important to you?
What do you mean?
Well, it's clear. You have a very strong emotional connection to the case.
Emotional connection?
Yes. It's in the way you speak, how you ask questions, and how you react to my answers. You ask questions hoping that I'm guilty, don't you? Now, why is that, though? Did you know someone that took part in the experiment?
No.
Oh, yes, that's it, isn't it? Now, who was it, I wonder? You would have been too young, so it can't have been a friend. It would have been someone much closer. It was a parent, wasn't it? Yes. It was your father. You grew up with pure hatred for Porton Down and all of the people that worked there. And now, finally, you get to have
Instead of making up stories about my partner, just answer the questions.
Making up stories? Why don't we ask Robert?
Burn marks all over his face and body. What? Fucking what? The kids at school used to laugh at him because of how he looked. They said he looked like a monster. All because... Shut the fuck up! All because he wanted...
Fuck out of here! What the fuck was that in there? Now I know why you were so keen to get involved in this investigation. Why didn't you tell me about your father?
I didn't think it mattered!
Fucking Egypt! You should never have been involved in this investigation. This reflects poorly on me. For fuck's sake.
I'm trying to do the right thing.
You were manhandling him in there. Do you have any idea who his connections are?
Fuck his connections.
You need to look at this in an unbiased approach.
I am.
He was just doing his job.
Designing experiments was not part of his job. Never mind break a procedure. Look, David, I'm not going to argue with you. Let's go in, finish this fucking interview. So, where were we?
Here, Sean. You'll do anything for your mother, right?
Huh?
I'm serious. Imagine if your mother was still alive.
You're serious, yeah?
Listen. What lengths would you go to protect your mother? To make sure that she felt loved? Would you,
What are you asking me?
We have this thing in common, and it seems that we're doing this experiment for our mothers.
And?
I've killed people.
Oh, so the Texas thing was bullshit?
Yes.
Why'd you lie?
That's not important. Look, what I'm trying to say is... if you have a right reason to kill someone, is that justifiable?
No.
I don't know. I think some people have it coming.
Who'd you kill?
Anyone that mistreated or disrespected my mother. Man, woman, child.
You're sick in the fucking head.
Really?
Yes.
You'd actually murder a child?
If I had a reason to, yes.
What exactly does a child have to do for you to justify killing them? Why are you even in here? Are you seriously gonna let this monster out here?
Calm down and listen to what I have to say, and then you'll understand why I did it. So I'm sat at home with my mother, just the two of us minding our own business, when I hear this noise. Bang, bang, bang. I look outside and I see a small group running away. They threw stones at the house. My old, disabled mother's house. Luckily, I saw one of the group. Little girl with a bright yellow school bag. For a week, I waited outside every school in the area to try to find that bag again. Until eventually I did. I saw her, and I followed her home. I saw she hung out with her friends, and when she was alone, and then I kidnapped her. I kidnapped her, and I tied her to a post. And I threw stones at her naked body, over and over again.
You're a fucking monster. How sick do you have to be to throw stones at an old disabled woman's home?
I repeat, get away from each other
Look at what she's doing. Her and all of her friends. She had it coming.
I repeat, stand with both hands firmly on the wall now.
Excuse me. Can you do something? I'm sorry that they're gone. It's okay.
Please let me out. Too many people here. Please. This wasn't the deal. Must be 5 of us. Please, I want to stop. Please let me out. Let me out. Please. Let me out. 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 Please.
By day 12, they all began to experience extreme hallucinations.
What the fuck? No! 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 No, please.
Why did you leave?
Please, no.
What hurt?
Please, no. No. Sorry.
Please, Sean. I'm begging you to come home, Sean.
Why?
clothes. You broke my heart. You broke my heart.
Get me fucking out of here! Get me out of here! Get me fucking out of here! We fucking do anything! Oh yes, cunts! Go fucking on! Get the fuck! Get me out of here! Now! It's fucking animals!
Why did you leave me, Sean? What did I do? Come back to me. Please, Sean. I'm begging you to come home, Sean. Sean. Oh, Sean. Where are you, Sean? Come back home. Please come home to Mommy. I miss you so much, Sean.
Oh, we love you. Oh,
come
on. We love you. You know we love you.
Come on, Sean.
Oh, we love you. You know it, man.
I love you.
You know we love you.
So,
You know it, man.
so much.
We love you.
I want you to be here. I want to hug you. I love you.
Please, 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 Mom! Don't do that to me!
Sean.
Don't do that to me! No!
Sean, where are you, Sean? Sean!
Oh, we love you.
Sean, this is your fault. This is your fault.
You know we love you.
You killed me, Sean. You made me do this. You killed me, Sean! Look what you've done! How could you do this to your own mother?
when we realized we had made a huge mistake.
And what was that?
We weren't watching Luke.
Excuse me. There's people here. You're not supposed to be here. Can you do something? I'm sorry, they're gone. It's okay.
Please, please let me out. There's too many people here. Please, this wasn't the deal. There's supposed to be 5 of us. Please, I want to stop. Please let me out. Let me out. Please, let me out. Ah! Let me out. Please, let me out.
Ceases the production of melatonin. There, the third photoreceptor in your eye, which monitors light intensity and lets your brain know it's time to sleep. Are you sure you want to go ahead with this?
Yes.
Great. There are just a few documents that we'll want you to sign. On day 4, 12, and 21, we will want you to fake the asthma attacks.
How will I know what day it is?
You'll hear a church bell play through the speakers every 24 hours.
We'll take you out of the room on those days so that we can evaluate your physical and mental deterioration. You will then be allocated 12 hours of sleep and injected with a shot of noradrenaline.
As a safety precaution, we want you to stay as close as possible to the testing room door, in case of an emergency.
In the event that anything does happen, I want to guarantee that my wife and son will be looked after.
Patrick, I promise you, everything will be okay.
Remember, if anything goes wrong, just get as close to the door as possible and we'll send somebody.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Patrick, take this.
What's this?
I've added these diaries for all the men in the experiment.
There's already stuff written in here.
That's just some background information on the prisoners.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Oh, you being in the room, I'd like you to document what you see, in case we miss something.
All right. Good luck, Patrick.
She's not there. She's not there. You're safe now. We're going home soon, I promise. I promise. Don't go again, please. You're safe.
Little girl with a bright yellow school bag. For a week, I waited outside every school in here to try to find that bag again. And eventually I did. I kidnapped her, and I tied her to a post. And I threw stones at her naked body, over and over again.
Bastard!
What are you on about?
Don't do it, Edward. Think of your family. Think of your family.
You killed her! You killed her! My daughter!
If you ever want to see your wife and your child again, you will let go of me right this instant.
You killed her. You fucking killed her.
Edward, you're losing your mind. Or how could I possibly have killed your daughter?
Liar!
That man is the liar.
Sorry, what?
Go on, Patrick. Tell us your little secret. Tell us who you really are.
What's he on about?
Patrick hasn't been telling us who he really is. Isn't that right? Go on, show us your little diary. Oh, you don't know where it is, do you? There it is.
What is it, Edward?
No, just...
Who are you?
I can explain.
He's one of them. He's one of the researchers.
Listen, I took part in the experiment, like you did.
Patrick, you're sweating. Are you feeling all right? You're very warm, Patrick. You're not going to have one of those asthma attacks, are you?
Get away from me!
Why? A minute ago you were angry at me for lying, and it's just turned out that he's been lying to us this whole time about everything.
I don't give a fuck about him. It's you! How could you even consider giving him a second chance?
I didn't know that he killed children. This is new. It's new information, man.
He's admitted it! He's admitted on tape! You've got it on tape! You've got evidence on tape! Put him back in prison! Fuck your experiment! Put him back in prison!
Go on, Patrick, tell him.
Tell me what?
Everything that's been said is strictly confidential and used for research purposes only.
It's all there in the fine print. Had you bothered to read it before signing up for this?
You better be fucking kidding me!
I'll be sure to write you a postcard when I get outside.
I'm gonna kill you one day.
Go on, hit me then.
I'd love to, but I got family up there.
This is great.
Tell you what, Luke, fuck you, and fuck your disabled father and mother!
What colored eyes did your daughter have?
Shut up.
Green eyes and black hair, wasn't it?
Shut up!
And what color school bag did she use?
Shut it, Neil.
It was yellow, wasn't it?
Shut up!
I know everything about you, and you know nothing about me.
Shut up.
You know what your daughter said to me before I killed her?
Shut your mouth.
She was screaming for her daddy.
Daddy, Daddy.
And you weren't there to rescue her. I told her I'd let her go if she did things to me. Do you want to know what she did?
Fucking nuts! Cunt! I'll fucking kill you! You bastard nuts! Nuts!
Well, you have a chance. Edward, don't do this. Don't do this. You're going to ruin it for all of us. Please, don't do it. No. Edward, no! Oh, jeez.
I'm not killer, please. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, please. I didn't do it. Please. You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. Please. Please. He didn't see it. Pretend 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 he didn't see it. Please. Please. Please.
We couldn't see inside the test room because Edward had completely covered the observation window with Luke's blood.
What the hell are we waiting for? Let's get Patrick out of there.
Wait.
We don't have the time to wait.
What are we meant to do? Barge in there and shoot them all dead? If we go in, Patrick dies. Let's not do anything irrational.
Well, unless you have a better plan, Christopher, I suggest this is our only option.
There is no need for panic here.
But we could turn it off. The gas. It's stopping the process of melatonin, right? That's what's keeping them awake. If we turn it off and they will fall asleep, it would just be a matter of going in and taking Patrick out while he's sleeping.
That could work.
And how can we be absolutely sure that they'll fall asleep?
What if we flooded the room with desflurane combined with nitrous oxide? Sleeping gas.
And that's where it cuts off.
As I said before, what happened was horrific. But we were brainwashed by the propaganda the government was feeding us. It was just devastating what those men went through. But I promise all I wanted to do was get the best results possible for the experiment. I can't tell you enough how much I regret it. But listening back to that now, it's tough. Knowing that I was a part of it, of ever having worked in that research facility. Oh, and Robert, I'm truly sorry about your father. I'm just happy that you finally found justice for him. Well, gentlemen, if you need anything else, you know where to find me. Thank you for your time. Robert. David. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. So, what are we going to do about Christopher?
He's not the worst, Robert. I mean, he'll do the necessary punishment.
Come on.
I think we should just continue on with the investigation. Look into the researchers and who knows what else will pop up.
We were working with seawater. Their candidates would drink nothing but salt water. And they became completely dehydrated. When they were put back in the cells, they would lick the floors in the hope that some fresh water was left behind after they were mopped.
And what were you trying to achieve?
We were creating different dissolvents to see if they could desalinate the salt water. And we were unsuccessful.
What was your role in this particular experiment?
I was one of the chemical engineers. You know, luckily the lead researcher, Christopher, he knew I couldn't tolerate anything too graphic, so he made sure I saw as little as possible.
Christopher who?
I'm not sure.
Christopher Sampson?
Yes. Yes, that was it.
Are you sure it was him?
There's no record of his name with this experiment.
Really? No, he was completely adamant about making this experiment a reality. In fact, he was very enthusiastic about all the experiments he designed.
Wait. Are you saying he designed other experiments?
Yes. Well, I worked with him on many.
Let's go, brother. We're gonna have to cut this interview short.
Sorry.
Christopher? Christopher, are you there? Christopher?
Day 24. Edward, the remaining subject, is still conscious. He is in critical condition, and it's estimated that he will die soon due to infection. Therefore, I am going to conduct one final interview with him. Hello, Edward. My name is Christopher Sampson. I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding the experiment, if you don't mind.
Go fuck yourself.
Edward, this will be a lot easier if you cooperate.
What's gonna happen to me?
You broke the rules, Edward. You already know. Let me ask one question. I'll let you see your family again one more time.
What do you want?
How did it feel to end the life of another human being? Did you feel guilty?
No.
Did you feel guilty when you killed those 2 soldiers?
No.
Can you describe how you felt after killing them?
Alive.
Thank you, Edward. That's all I need to know.
Wait! Did Luke kill my daughter? Please! I deserve to know!
The human mind is amazing. What it does to make us feel comfort. What it does to make us justify our mistakes. Luke never killed your daughter, Edward. He'd been in prison a long time before she ever went missing. It was the idea of vengeance and revenge for your daughter that consumed you. Always looking for answers, searching for the truth. Luke caught onto this and you fell into his trap. You allowed Luke to get into your head.
That's not true. He knew her. He knew details about her.
Did he? Or did you just tell yourself he did?
You know what you're talking about.
Look at yourself, Edward. You killed Luke. You ripped the organs out of those two men's bodies with your bare hands. You sacrificed the only chance you ever had of seeing your family again. For what? Self-gratification. Give yourself a sense of purpose. Please. You'll never see your family again because of you. That's the difference between you and I, Edward. I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not. I know what I am.
What are you? A monster?
It was very apparent that I was quite different from all those around me growing up. I was aware of other people's actions not matching my own. I didn't feel as they felt. I felt nothing. I couldn't understand what all the fuss about murdering and death was. It just made me more curious to know what it would feel like to kill. It started as cravings at first. I used to torture my pet dog. But it wasn't until I strangled him to death that I felt something. And it made me feel alive. But I had to stop. Because murder is frowned upon in this civilized society of ours. But that feeling of utter dominance you get from a kill, it starts to grow inside, and soon it becomes pure compulsion. And you have to kill again and again. So, that's why I work here. I designed the experiments to go wrong. Make them look like an accident. Accidents happen all the time in a place like this, and the government just comes along and covers them up. But it made me wonder, why me? Why am I the only one like this? Or could anyone, given the right circumstances, Take the life of another human being and enjoy it. So I designed this sleep experiment. Take away basic human needs and you're left with war and chaos. So I deprived you of a basic human need, the need to sleep. That's why you were chosen. That's why all of you were chosen. You'd all showed signs of this madness that I believe lurks deep inside us all. Deep down, suppressed, just waiting to be unleashed.
Out of curiosity, what are the traits of a psychopath?
Some of the traits would be dishonesty, lack of guilt, manipulativeness. They gravitate towards torturing and murdering humans and animals. Psychopaths want to be acknowledged for their achievements, how they tricked and deceived everyone around them for so long.
So how do you know when you're speaking to one?
You don't.